So I used to do this for the older videos, so I'll be real quick for the new people. I will start more and more furiously plugging away the two channels that I have, don't have. One has over 1,000 subscribers. The other one basically is the older channel due to YouTube politics. I have to make it up again. So apologies, but I will have to keep aggressively plugging those away. Okay, but now let us get to the main thing with Aronis. I'm not going to bury the lead. I didn't listen to the video in its entirety, but yes, apparently there is a protective order tentatively against Aaron. And for the new people, the basic gist is Aaron a while ago was caught on camera. He was taping this. He was proud of it, where he was throwing powder at somebody's face. And again, to be fair to him, I think the guy falsely made it a bigger drama, calling in ambulances and things. That's a little silly. However, this is a serious issue. Aaron has been charged with battery. He was arrested. And now this protective order apparently is from that. And it is very wide. So you would think that given, well, in my humble estimation, him and his gang of terrorists basically causing a mess. And to be fair, some of them do actual real protests, but for the most part, they're just stalking people, constantly yelling and mocking and not really doing anything at the flag building in Florida. Well, this protective order seems to be very expensive. And I mean, again, I don't like what Scientologists are up to. You can kind of see the game being played. I don't care what happens to Aaron, but this is a dilemma. So I think what they're trying to do is say, okay, you can't be near this guy anymore. And right or wrong, this is on Aaron's own. This is him. This is even on friendly channels. It's clear as day. He violated the law. So if somebody throws powder aggressively in your face, can you have a protection order? Yeah, that's totally legit. I don't want this person around me anymore. They're a possible threat. It's like, okay, that's true. However, it seems that they're playing on the ambiguities. Like, well, does this guy work for the flag building? Does he work for Scientology in general? Obviously, for this thing to work, Aaron would be given the order, you need to stay away from this person, period, right? X distance. So it could be the case, unknowingly, Aaron will keep violating the law and get arrested. Again, I don't like Aaron, but this is creeping into some very tricky precedent. I mean, the idea of him getting a protection order against Aaron that's fine. I don't think a judge is going to be able to reject that. There's a pretty strong argument for that, but what does that mean? So if the person is inside the building and Aaron is just too close to the building, he can still be arrested, right? Because he violates the order technically. Because Aaron kept bringing this up, and again, he's being a moron. I didn't listen to the whole video because he's just doing propaganda. But he did raise a few good points. I mean, he's being cynical, but namely, well, what if I don't know certain things, right? Because he kept going on. I don't even know what this guy looks like. Yeah, he knows what the guy looks like. I mean, they literally were several inches from one another. So yeah, he's lying. But the point would be there is an issue of genuine ignorance, right? If Aaron is at a Scientology event and guess who's there too, and they're a little bit too close to one another, can Aaron be arrested? Sure, but was Aaron there to specifically terrorize that guy? That's not clear. So it seems like what they're really trying to do is make sure that almost any Scientology event, Aaron will be banned from being there because the potential is you may run into this guy and violate the order. So there we are. So there is a genuine First Amendment dilemma here. But I've reached kind of the point where I really don't care anymore. But clearly, I think that's the real problem, which Aaron is not being honest about. But again, I didn't see the whole video. I don't know if he addressed this. So the tentative plan that he and his lawyer apparently will do is basically right because he can't get out of this. So he will have to go to court and say, "Oh, this is not good. Don't believe them. Please dismiss the order." We'll see if that works for him. I don't think it will. This thing seems really rock solid. And Aaron seemed genuinely shocked. Now, I'll be generous. It is a money thing, right? He makes a lot of money doing these moronic stalking videos. So it is what it is. So he's clearly disturbed that he's going to lose money. But I'm going to go further. And I usually don't do this, put people on the couch, although with Aaron, pretty obvious. The guy suffers from some Freudian issues. I think the dilemma for him will not be the protection order. It's that he will violate the order, right? In other words, if the order is even more restrictive and simple saying, don't be near the flag building anymore. Period. Because again, if he's an employee there and he works there, which is totally plausible, Monday to Sunday, there's no way they can guarantee, like, oh, you may run into him, so stay away from the building. Aaron isn't going to do that. Like, if there's one thing that's clear about Aaron is he cannot control himself, right? So even if he tries to stay away from the building, we know he's not going to do it. He just habitually likes to break the law, and he habitually likes to stalk people, right? This is just ingrained in him at this point. He just cannot refuse to do that, right? And he never used to do this, by the way. Like 10 years ago, it's a very different Aaron. You go to the Aftermath show, he was like, oh, I'm so nice and calm. Ah. So this is a persona, but now that it's been so part of his psychology, forget it. Forget it. If they say don't be anywhere near the flag building, I mean, Aaron probably will obey it for a while, but eventually, you know, he is what he is. He's got this very addictive personality with alcohol, drugs, and this, right? He just thrives on this very hyper extreme behavior. So I think that's his real worry is that if the protection order stands, he will violate the law, he will get arrested, and he will probably go to jail, right? So he's kind of stuck. So you can either radically change his tactics and just do what he used to do, which is interviews, do a couple of edited videos. And of course, he's always going to mock the Scientologists, although I don't find his mockery very convincing or coherent because he's just as bad, but whatever. So this isn't really going to harm anti Scientology activists. Let's be very clear about that. However, there is a danger here, no doubt about that. I don't think it's a big danger, but we should be aware there is a danger. In terms of Aaron's channel, I see that this is going to be a big dilemma. For lack of a better word, his studio videos, whatever you want to call them, beyond a certain point, don't get many views, right? Now, I'm going to do more intense video on this, but if you look at those, whatever you want to call them, the water wars or the flag building or him out in public videos, they get a lot more traction. However, even they are leveling off, right? Like the last one he did with Jenna got 51,000 views. And I am not joking with you. I actually checked this yesterday. It was stuck at 51,000, right? So it's Scientology protest, October 10, 2025. It clearly shows him and Jenna's smiling with her sunglasses, right? Now, just a few weeks earlier, Scientology protest, September 26, 2025, 108,000. But now, be careful. Scientology protest, October 3, 2025. That's a week before the October 10 video. That got 61,000. So the trajectory for those videos was already declining. But I'm going to do a more full video on the numbers because some of these did get pretty big numbers, like 150, 200,000. So it is what it is. 1 plus 1 equals 2. So Aaron was primarily doing it for the money, but I'm sure he actually enjoyed doing it because he just enjoys stalking people. That's just what he is. It's YouTube, I have to say. Alleged stalking, in my not professional legal opinion, but it's pretty clear as day. That's his style. He's ripping off Streets LA, but that is what he's doing. And the studio stuff it's just not working the way it used to. I mean, he always had, I don't want to say healthy balance, but he just bounced back and forth between these stalker videos and these more studio videos, and cumulatively, still pretty good numbers. I think that's Aaron's real panic because he was actually like frustrated and worried throughout that video. It was really hilarious because he's facing a genuine dilemma here because, I mean, I'm sure unless the Scientologists are completely incompetent, they're going to be able to pull tons of clips showing habitually, over and over again, he does not, in fact, respect the so-called mythical line, saying, "Oh, they're showing the poop pics. I'm not buying." No, he even brags about it, saying he went up to the front door. They're saying, "Yeah, I'm surprised you wasn't arrested." Yeah, stupid. They were building a case against you. So if they can show over and over again even without the protective order, he habitually trespasses. What do you think's going to happen? So maybe he'll get lucky with the judge and they will dismiss the protective order. But far more likely, because this is the state. This is the state of Florida. This is not Scientology. This is now a state issue. And again, I don't like Florida politics. It's extremely corrupt. But yeah, corrupt or not, I don't see how he's able to fight the protective order because if it's not this guy, it's just going to keep happening, right? So long term, he's going to be radically limited in terms of his stalker videos. And again, the other videos are not getting many views. So he's going to face a big dilemma up ahead. And knowing Aaron, when he faces these dilemmas, he just doubles down, gets even more crazy and stupid, more extreme. And there you go. And knowing him, there will probably have to be a collateral damage, which honestly, I don't care about these people anymore. But, it would be very karmic justice if Jenna suffers due to this because she's co-signing this abuse. But yeah, it's still pretty sad all around. It's pretty sad all around. But of course, Aaron is gaslighting his audience. Oh, my First Amendment. Oh. It has nothing really to do with the First Amendment. He's just acting like a very even calling him a mild terrorist is being too generous. He's just a full-blown bully, an abusive, toxic bully, using his size and girth to try to boss people around. I don't care if it's a Scientologist. He just does this all the time with too many people. So eventually, you know, what goes up must come down. So I don't think he's going to be able to defeat this protective order. He may actually, ironically, beat the battery charge, but I don't know. This protective orders are tricky, but I mean, the tape shows what it shows. It shows he threw the thing at the guy's face. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It could go either way, but I'm betting, yeah, we're starting to see the end of Aronis because without those Stalker videos, he's not going to get a lot of traction.